What's up, guys? Classy Metal here. I'm coming at you today with a new album spotlight video. You may want to stick around to the end of the video because there will be a giveaway following my little album spotlight here. As most of you know, I do not consider myself a reviewer, so please do not take this as a review. That's something that I'm very adamant about. I try to avoid negativity on this channel. If there's something that's released that I just don't care for, I just don't spend time on it. I just don't advocate for it, and I just move on to find more enjoyable things. The stuff that I show on this channel is stuff that I like to promote, stuff that I enjoy, something that I think you guys or some of you out there would enjoy as well. I like to promote these bands. I like to get the word out on some of these bands and these labels because I feel that they are worthy of the exposure that I'm giving. That being said, this is an album that I purchased. This is not something that they just sent me and asked me to do this. This is something that I already spent my hard-earned money on, that I enjoyed. It was sent to me early, and now I'm sharing it with you guys. The album I'm talking about is the first full-length from Nashville-based Transylvania Stud. This one is entitled White Witch. It's currently available for pre-order on Transcending Records in physical format. They are releasing 3 formats on this album. There is the CD Digipack, which I have, that is limited to 100 copies. There is a black vinyl offering, which is also limited to 100, and a white vinyl offering that is also limited to 100. So each of the physical formats are limited, so you're definitely wanting to get in on this. Get in early, get your copy secured, because once they're gone, they're gone. Transylvania Stud for me is one of those bands that's just like a footstep away from just being propelled to this, where you're going to wish that you had a copy because they're probably going to be too hard to get your hands on later. Transylvania Stud is a very ambitious project. It's even more ambitious when you find out that it's all coming from the mindset of one individual. Andrew Godfrey is such a talented dude, man. This is ridiculous. I was blown away when I found out that this was a one-man project. For me, you often hear that more things get accomplished in groups. Teamwork makes the dream work, that type stuff. Sometimes I feel that it's counterintuitive when it comes to art projects. Creativity, I think, can be stifled in groups because you have too many hands in one basket, too many ideas bouncing around, and you try to please everyone within this specific group, and it becomes almost impossible to do so. Having a one-man project like this, it can be a daunting task, but I think the fact that you can base everything that you're doing upon your own ideas, your own creativity, and you can create something truly special, and I think that's what Andrew has done with this release on White Witch. White Witch is the first full-length. It is a follow-up to their 2017 EP entitled The Red Queen, because apparently Transylvania Stud has some kind of affirmation with women of color. Yeah, that didn't sound quite as good as it did in my head when it came out. That is not what I meant. But anyway, The White Witch, fantastic 7-track release. It is so hard to pigeonhole this band. With Transylvania Stud, we're taking a step back away from some of the more extreme offerings that I share with you on this channel. This has to do more with there's a very definite stoner doom vibe going on this, sludgy at times, but it has that stoner rock vibe going as well. All clean vocals. I wasn't surprised when I found out that he was from Nashville, because there are parts and passages of Transylvania Stud that I could easily find myself walking down Beale Street in Memphis and hearing something similar to this jamming out of a club. It's something that being where I'm from and being where I've been raised and where I've been from in my life, this is something that I can cling to, something that has a very, very familiar feeling for me, something I enjoy quite a bit. The influences on this album, it is so easy with the release of this style of music to just jump on that, hey, Alice in Chains. Everybody wants to say, hey, Alice in Chains, but Alice in Chains was a very influential band, and their sound can be found in so many facets outside of just this style of music. So it's kind of a cop-out to say Alice in Chains. Yes, that influence is there, but that's pretty much a given at this point. There are hints of Soundgarden in this. There are hints of Corrosion of Conformity. I even felt like there were some some Tool riffage going on in this album at times. And I'm speaking of Tool back when I found Tool to be enjoyable to listen to. I have not partaken much in Tool since anything after Lateralis. It's just not for me. I know that some of you enjoy that. That's fine. But for me, it felt like some of these early Tool riffage can be found in some of these, which is a bit surprising considering the style of music that Transylvania Stud offers up for us. Soundgarden, strong Soundgarden influence there. The very first track on this, entitled Unconditional Numb, I listened to this complete album maybe 3 times last night, and I could not pinpoint what this first track was reminding me of. There was a melody, there was a song stuck in my head, and I just could not pinpoint. And this morning I woke up and it was right there, and it had a very definite Life of Agony, early Life of Agony vibe going on, and especially with the vocal style going on this. And I don't know if that's what he was going for. I don't even know if Andrew is a fan of Life of Agony, but that's, for me, that was definitely there, and that is not a bad thing whatsoever. Fantastic stuff on this. Unconditional Numb, as I just mentioned, the first track, very, very strong opening track. One of my favorite tracks on this release. High Stakes and Cloak and Dagger, the 2 tracks that follow. Those are 2 of the tracks that I could find myself strolling down Beale Street in Memphis and maybe stepping outside of B.B. King's club on Memphis and hearing this coming from the inside. It would fit perfectly in that. Works well in this album. One thing I will say about each of these tracks on this album is they are all standalone tracks. You do not... they all have their own, I guess, identity. You don't have this just bleed into where they all start sounding the same. I like the fact that they all have their own separate makeup and identity. That way they can stand alone to make one great big work of art. Next up, Drown. I did enjoy this album this song on this album quite a bit. It has a bit of a spirituality vibe going on. Anytime that you can bring up demons and that type stuff in this, especially within like a doom setting, that kind of heeding a warning, overcoming doom setting, that it works well for me. I thought that was a pretty strong track on this release. Threefold, possibly my favorite. I believe there is an official video for Threefold out. I could be wrong on that. I know there's a couple videos made for tracks on this release. I will try to do my homework a little better and link that up in the description. Long Way Down and In Over Your Head. Perfect 2 tracks to close this album with. Long Way Down, very, very strong. This one, another rival to be one of my favorite tracks. And then In Over Your Head, perfect way to end this release. There is a riff melody going on within In Over Your Head that's just going to follow you and stay with you after this listen to this album is completed. It's something that's going to stay with you, something that is going to keep with you for the day and make you want to return to this release. The replay value is there for this. I cannot advocate enough for this release. I think you guys need to jump on this, especially being from Nashville. As I was saying earlier, this is a project. Transylvania Stud is like one step away from just blowing up to the point where these early materials are going to be hard for you to get your hands on, because I think it's that accessible, and I think it's something that there's going to be a lot of people that can relate to this. This is one of those releases that I put off listening to when I saw the album stream, and I don't know why. I did the same thing with the Red Queen EP. It's one of those, I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did. I listened to it. I was blown away by the EP. I was blown away by this album, and as soon as I heard the stream, I was like, man, I got to get my hands on this. And I went ahead and did the pre-order. I'm going to give a little rundown on the actual CD, because that's the physical version that I ordered. As I said, this is limited to 100 copies. I will be linking up Transcending Records in the description where you can get yourself a copy of this. I love the artwork on this, not just because you see that sheet pressed hard up against those big old boobs, but I just love the, let me straighten out the actual CD. Usually I'm not a huge fan of digipacks, but I think it works well as far as the artwork goes. Pretty minimal, not just too much going on, but I think it just works well with the flow of this album. I don't have my hands on the vinyl, because as you know, I do tend to do more CDs than records. But as I said, there's a 100 variation of the black vinyl and a 100 variation of the white vinyl. I've heard that the white vinyl is probably going to come out looking pretty sick too, so I think that's something that some of you guys definitely are going to get your hands on. As I said, Transylvania Records will be linked up in the description. I am going to link up that album stream from Transylvania Stud that they put on YouTube, so you guys can check that out. I will also link up the Bandcamp for Transylvania Stud. That way, if you're into digital copies and that type of stuff, you could also pick it up that way. Definitely want you guys to check this out. Mike over at Transylvania Records was nice enough to throw in some copies of Transylvania Stud's 2017 EP, The Red Queen. I have 5 copies here, but I have to be selfish. One of these is going to a good friend of mine that lives right outside of Nashville. This is a band that I think he will dig, so Evan, man, I'm sending this one your way. But the other 4, I am going to be doing another giveaway, so everybody thank Mike, thank Transylvania Records for this giveaway. If you want to get your hands on one of these 4 copies of The Red Queen, it's very easy. I'm going to pick 2 winners. Just go listen to the album stream. Go listen to the Bandcamp. Check it out. Just get in the comments. Tell me that you won in the giveaway and what your favorite track on this newest release, White Witch, is. And tell me why it's your favorite track. Just give a little input into the album. Tell me some influences. I think Andrew likes hearing some of the influences that people think that they hear within his music. That's something that that's kind of sparked that I kind of noticed doing my homework before this video. So just get in there. Tell me you want in the giveaway. Tell me what your thoughts on the album, your favorite track, influences that you hear throughout the album. I will pick 2 winners that way. The first 2 people to pre-order this album and send me an email confirmation showing that you did a pre-order for White Witch, I will send you a copy of The Red Queen. So the first 2, you're getting that. So 2 people will be chosen out of the comments. 2 people who actually pre-ordered the album will get a free EP. All you have to do is email me. I will have my email linked up in the description as well. Show me that you purchased the White Witch, and I will be sending you a copy of The Red Queen. That's all for that. If more people than the 2 jump in and actually pre-order, I will try my best to do something for you. If you missed the Red Queen, maybe I'll also have something in my extras pile or something that I can give you some type of way. I'll do something to make up for you missing out if you happen to order it and miss the first 2. So that being said, that's all I've got for today. Cannot advocate enough. Get on this. Get on this. Get on this. You're going to be sorry if you didn't. It's limited to 100, and I could see once they're gone, that's when the demand is probably going to hit. So definitely get in early, or you will end up being sad. That's all I've got for today. I have chosen the winner for the previous album spotlight giveaway, the Desgracia Eterna. You have been notified. And so go check that old video, check your comment to see if I replied to it, because that's how I'm getting in touch with you, and that way I can send your album out to you ASAP. As always, thank you guys so much for checking this out. Thank you for checking out Transylvania Stud. Thank you for checking out Transcending Records. I cannot thank you guys enough. I will see you very soon. Metalhead Box should be here any day now, and we'll have that unboxing going. Got some other stuff going as well. So stay classy, stay metal, and I will see you all very soon. I promise.